A company has 1098 units and to be shipped across 9 warehouses. Due to capacity constraints, no warehouse can receive more than 15% more units than any other warehouse. So there is no absolute value constraint, but relative constraint is there that no one can receive 15% more than anyone else. Yeah. Now, 1098 divided by 9, I get a 1, 2, and 2, right? So again, my base case that everyone gets the same. That is how I begin with every time, right? So I have 122 given, let's say, to every warehouse, blah, blah, right? Now, no unit can receive more than 15%. What is the maximum possible number of units that the most loaded warehouse can receive? So I know that if I'm giving equal to everybody, then I am giving 122 to each. But if there's a most loaded warehouse, that is one which has the maximum amount of units given to it, let's say it is this one, the last one, yeah, it has the maximum. So what do? I say that this cannot have more than 15% of the units of anyone else. So I want to maximize this for sure, but it should not be 15% more than anybody else. Okay, which means that, let's say if this is my minimum, I take out X from here. Let's say I take out X from here, I take out X from here because I want to maximize this one. And all these 8X's that I collect, I give it to this one. But what is my constraint? That this value should not be more than 15% of this value. Yeah. So the difference between these two is your 9X upon, it should not be more than 122 minus x. This should be at most 15%. Is this okay? Does this make sense? I gave equal to everybody. Then I said, no, I have to give maximum to this one. So I say, fine, then let me take out X from each one and give all this 8X to this because I want to give the maximum possible to this particular warehouse. What is the maximum possible number of units that the most loaded warehouse can receive? So I give it to this, but my constraint is that this warehouse should not have more than 15% of the lowest one, of the one which has the least amount, right? Now, how much extra does this warehouse have? It has 9x more. This is 122 minus x. This is 122 plus x. So this is 9x more. So 9x upon 122 minus x, this base value is giving me 15%. That is the maximum possible. Okay, so now let's see. Let me do my calculations now. This becomes 3x. So 3x, this becomes 60x, this becomes 61x is equal to 122. So x is equal to 2. X is 2. That means I get over here 138. So this one should have maximum of 138. Right? Now, there is also an algebraic method to do it. Think about this. In the previous questions, we weren't able to use algebra, right? We had to use base case and distribution. Here, we can use algebra as well. We can say, all right, let's say each warehouse, and essentially this is exactly what we have done over here as well. We say, let's say each warehouse had n. Yeah, N, but the last warehouse has 15% more units. That's the maximum that it can have, right? All right. So now what do I have? These 8n. I know 8n plus 1.15n. This is equal to 1098. Is this okay? I gave n to the first warehouse out of 1098, n to the next one, n to the next one, blah, 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 till the last one, which has the maximum, and I gave it 1.15n, 15% more, right? So this needs to be a total of 1098. Now, when I'll do my calculation, of course, I'm going to get the same value. N should come out to be equal to 120. And I increase it by 15%, I get a 138. The value would be the same. Yeah, but I just dislike doing this particular calculation. This is just not to my taste. Yeah, I like to divide it into smaller parts and do the calculation with smaller numbers, and that is why. And it helps give me a base case as well, right? One method to solve all such questions. But of course, this is also absolutely valid. Is this okay? Yes, a minimum for the most loaded. Yeah, guys, a quick thought, just a minute, take a minute. What will be the minimum for the most loaded one? This one, minimum possible value for the most loaded? Because Chavi, I want to maximize. I am subtracting the same amount because I want to maximize. If I subtract, look, I subtract x from this. I say this is the one which has the least value, right? I say that least one. So what do I want? I want no warehouse can receive more than 15% than any other warehouse, which means that the maximum should not be 15% more than the minimum. That is what it means. Yeah. So I'm saying, okay, my minimum is 122 minus x. I'm subtracting x out of 1, and that gives me my minimum amount in a particular warehouse. Okay. Now, my 122 thing, the maximum one, that should not be more than 15% of this one, right? Okay. Now, think about this. I want to maximize the value over here, the maximum possible number of units over here. Should I give, let's say, 1 minus x plus 1 over here? Then this will not become maximum, right? I won't be able to give maximum to this one which has the highest amount, right? So that is the reason why I say all of them are at lowest, and my highest is the one which has the whatever I've subtracted from each one of the warehouses, right? And this is where I see that is why I'm adding the 8x to that. I don't want to give any of the warehouses more than the lowest. This was the lowest, that was the highest. I don't want to give any of the other warehouses more than the lowest, because then this doesn't become my maximum, right? I want to give this the maximum. So that is why I subtract minus x from each one of these, and I give the plus 8x over here. Now my only constraint left is that this additional should not be more than 15% of this. Make sense? Think about it. Does it make sense? Yeah, Tanisha, very good. And yeah, Rishabh, that's correct. It will be. Yeah, your revised answer is correct, Rishabh. Yeah. So, okay. And what is the minimum possible number of units that the most loaded warehouse can receive? I know that all the warehouses can receive 122 equally, right? If I want one to have maximum possible value, this is the highest one, but it should have minimum number of units. I'll just take one unit from here and perhaps give it here, 123 here and 121 here. Of course, this is less than 15% more than this. So everything works out.